I've been approached by a major political figure. Um, they basically reached out to me through one of their affiliates to do an interview. Um, and it's going to be positioned as though I was asking to interview them. And the person is John F. Kennedy. I believe that's his name, or Kennedy, whatever. And I believe he's trying to run as an independent candidate. And he's reached out to me, or they solicited me for an interview. But the truth is, I'm not interested. I tell you black men all the time, vote your interest. If your interest align with this political party, so be it. If it aligns with another political party, that's fine with you. I am not a politician. I have no aspirations to run for public office. The only purpose and only reason that I'm here and I do this social media advocacy is because, I'm an advocate for black men. I'm an advocate, not a politician. And any political pundit who wants to appear on my broadcast is going to have to tell me very specifically how his policies will empower or recidify issues faced by black men. Not black people, not black women, but black men. You see? See, I'm not interested in them telling me that we're going to come up with some policies that are going to help a small minority within the black community. You see, I want them to explain to me beforehand that they're going to come up with policies that help and enhance the lives of the vast majority of black men, not merely the pookie and ray class of black men. So when you come and say criminal justice reform, that's not going to cut it. Because, see, I know enough to know that there are only 900,000 black men in the prison systems in the United States out of 22 million. And so that's really, in the big picture of things, you're talking about less than 5%. So you're going to have to do better than that. Welfare reform is not any interest of mine, because the vast majority of black men, by the time they reach middle age, and I'm talking about 63% of black men, they reach the middle class. So that has no interest for me. Black men are interested in job opportunities. They are interested in career opportunities. They're interested in lower taxes. They're interested in more freedom. This is what brothers are interested in. And so we'll see what happens. But the thing is, I know the value of my endorsement. I have 70,000 subscribers. Now, the problem that I don't have, that a lot of people have, is that 98% of my subscribers are black men from the United States. Now, that means they may have, different African origins. They may be from the Caribbean. They may be from the continent. They may be foundational black American. But the bottom line is 98% of the people on my page are black men, the subscribers. And so what that tells you is that for the most part, my subscribers are 100% in tune with what I say, because I'm telling you what they're saying. See, I speak for the solid center, that 80% of black men that comprise the middle of pretty much everything, politics, social, issues. And for the most part, we share the same ideals. Even when our politics differ, even if we're from different classes, even if we have different occupations, our education levels, even that difference, we still share the same ideals. For the most part, we're concerned about family, we're concerned about finance, we're concerned about lifestyle, you see? And so even if they may differ from me on policies, you'll see the brothers all the time say, hey man, that's your best podcast yet. And then the following week, the brother say, well man, I don't agree with everything you say, but that's a good one. You see? And so for the most part, we're aligned, and that's who I represent. A lot of podcasters, they have a lot of fluff. They have subscribers. They might have, 50,000 black men and 150,000 non-black men, which could be black women, people from other ethnicities. So they really don't have the ear of the black men. You see, it takes a lot. Black men are very discerning. And so it takes a lot to get them to stay with you. And for the most part, if you look, man, my subscribers, they've been here for a minute. Now, and I'm laying the foundation first, okay? I want you to understand, but the bottom line is, I know the value of my endorsement because my page is different. More importantly, as far as my subscribers, they trust me. You see? They trust me, which means me allowing some on my platform is tantamount to me putting a stamp of approval on them. You see? They recognize me as one of the best and the brightest that black American manhood has to offer. I'm a father, I'm a business owner, I'm a professional, I'm a homeowner. On top of that, I speak the language of the people. I don't disrespect my brothers based on their status, their wealth. I'll come down on them if they're out there acting like degenerates, but even they recognize that. Bottom line is they see me as authentically who I am. On top of that, they see me stand up as a man for what I believe in my friends. They saw me stand up for Kevin Samuels, and whether you like him or not, because that's my friend, I'm not gonna let you talk bad about him at his death, period. And they like that. And so because of that, they trust me. You see, and that means a lot, and I'm not gonna do anything to betray that trust. The way you know that I carry a lot of weight in these black YouTube streets amongst black men is because if I recommend the page, in a matter of months, it'll double in size. My subscribers will go over there, they'll start contributing super chats and cash apps and likes and views, and that person will be a target, you see? And channels that I target, channels that I reprimand, you'll know they lose credibility. They may not lose subscribers, but they lose credibility, and eventually they fall off. Look at the history. It's just something to think about. Bottom line is, family, I'm here to protect your ears. So if there's some major political figure who wants to come to my page, right, anyone who comes to my page is going to have to be screened, okay? Because, when I allow them on my page, they'll get more weight and credibility simply because they're there, because basically they'll have my stamp of approval. And so I'm mindful not to just allow people just to use my space, you see, just to get to you. I recognize the value. In other words, I'm a gatekeeper in that regard. I'm a gatekeeper here to protect black men's ears, to screen people. And, for the most part, I'm just not going to let anybody come on and just speak to you, you see? My whole purpose and point, the things that I want to do, is I want to see black men win. Shout out to everybody who contributed to the super chat. I hadn't done that yet. Cash App. I'm back here doing these backyard dusty reviews. I know y'all like what I'm out here yelling and fighting off these mosquitoes and bugs. It's 100 degrees here in the great state of Texas, but I know y'all like this, and I like it too, but and so that's why I do this. But back to what I'm saying is, my whole purpose for doing this is I want to see you brothers winning in life. You see, and the reason that I want to see you winning is because when you win, we win. And when we win, my black sons win. And so the truth is, I have very selfish reasons for being an advocate for black men. Number one, I'm a black man. And so I want to protect our image, because protecting our image means I'm protecting my image and my own son's image. So again, my interests here are self-centered, and that's why they don't change. That's why I've been the same for the past 15 years, since I was on Facebook, okay? My interests are 100% aligned with the interests of black men. It's my legacy that I'm concerned about. And my biological legacy, my children, that's pretty much where I'm at. It doesn't serve my interests to scold black men publicly, to lambaste black men publicly, to put them down publicly. It doesn't serve my interests to do that. Nor does it serve my self-serving interests to mislead black men politically or otherwise. I need to make sure that I can hold on to your ear. I need to make sure that I can always be your advocate. And if anybody runs up, then they get dealt with. And so that's why I don't mislead you. That's why, for the most part, this is what I do. I let people know what I do. It is what it is. You don't have to like it. You don't have to like my page, but this is where I'm at. And the other thing is, along with being an advocate for black men, you guys will often see where occasions arise when I target certain organizations, groups, and people because they say things that are detrimental, television shows, political, judiciaries, countries, entertainment, whoever it is, sports figures. And that also includes the lovely ladies. If you lovely ladies get out of pocket and y'all get too carried away, then I take it upon myself to speak up on behalf of black men. And that's just it. That shit. It's not a shtick. When y'all stop, I'ma stop. But as long as you picking on black men and you vilifying them in public, I'ma deal with you. Because if you attempt to vilify and attack the reputation of black men, that means you're making it difficult for us. Okay? So, that's where I'm at. And for the most part, we all understand that the reason why African American women oftentimes try to vilify and destroy the reputation of black men, calling us deadbeat dads and saying these horrible things about us, is because that makes it easy for them to portray themselves as victims of circumstances out of their control. And so what that allows them to do is mask their own dirty deeds and bad habits and dusty behavior. Somebody type dusty behavior in the chat room. Somebody type bad decisions in the chat room. That allows them to do that. And unfortunately, me being an advocate for black men has caused for me to have a lot of enemies and make enemies who were formerly friends. Some of you guys may recall a few years back, I was invited to discuss the Passport Bros. Before it got hot. You guys can still see that on my page. And after the whole passport things blew up, I was asked to come back to this particular TV show because I had appeared on the show on a regular basis. And although oftentimes I talked about topics I really wasn't terribly interested in, of course, everybody knows Passport Bros is one of those things. Somebody type Passport Bros in the chat room. Nevertheless, Passport Bros blew up. I was invited to come back, and then at the last minute, I was mysteriously called and said, yeah, we're going to cancel the segment. You don't have to come. Now, come to find out, that very same segment went forward at some point. But instead of allowing me on the broadcast to discuss the movement of Passport Bros and how they're exercising their freedoms and their options, instead, the producers of that show, the host of that show, decided to have 3 lovely ladies who were presented with the opportunity to really drag and ridicule black men publicly. This is a couple years back. Some of you guys may remember. I was very disappointed in that because I'd already told my audience that I was going to appear. They had gotten used to me appearing on that. And everybody around this city, anybody who listens to the internet knows that I 100% preach a freedom doctrine. I basically tell black men that you're free to go wherever you want to go. The world is yours. And Passport Bros is one of those key things. Go see the world. Go see what it has to offer. And so I was very disappointed at the producers and this particular host, especially since I thought we were better than that. And so what I did was I publicly ridiculed this host. I publicly ridiculed what transpired. And again, I had a long-standing professional relationship with this particular host. Now, I hadn't been invited back to the broadcast because word got back to that particular host that I wasn't happy. And as far as those three women who were on that particular segment who were bashing black men for passport bros, y'all dragged one of them. Come to find out, you guys did what the internet does. You did all sorts of OnlyFans. You found out she was an OnlyFans model. Y'all dug deep down, found out she's a single baby mother and all that sort of stuff, man. And bottom line is, that's what happened. But bottom line is, I'm true to who I am. I support my brothers because that is supporting myself, and that just is basic survival. Now, what I want to talk about today is this, again, political interest in what we're doing here, okay? Political interest in what we're doing. A couple of things that I explained to you. There was years ago where black women could go on a TV show and talk reckless about black men and nobody would say anything. Had this issue with these three women on this panel, this was par for the course. This was the norm back in the 1980s and 90s. You can hear black men being disrespected on Sally Jesse Raphael and Oprah Winfrey every day. It was nothing. That was part of their shtick. That's back in the day. See, black men coming out and dragging her and exposing them and getting at the producers and the actual hosts. That didn't happen back in the day. We would have just accepted that dragging and just remained silent. And that's what we had done for the past 60 years. But see, it's a new day. See, black men no longer have that reverence for black men we once did. I told you 4 or 5 years ago, somebody typed Big Mama is dead in the chat room. Somebody type Big Mama is dead in the chat room. Somebody type Big Mama is dead in the chat room. What does that mean? What that means, brothers, I should say, and anybody listening, and for you lovely ladies, I want you to hear this because this applies to you also in your individual status. Black men don't mind dragging you these days, okay? They don't mind publicly exposing you. There's going to be pushback. And the reason being is we don't have the same reverence for you, modern day black women, as we have for Big Mama, as we have for Meemaw, as we have for Granny, as we have for Grandma. We love Grandma. We respected Meemaw. Those were different kind of women. They stayed married a long time. They had children that they took care of. They took care of not only their children, but the extended family's children, and the whole neighborhood could come to the house and eat. We knew to stay out of Miss Green's yard. Don't be messing with her peaches and apples. And when it was time for the peaches to be picked, she would always make sure you got you a couple. You were going to take her trash out. You could have been the most disrespectful child in the neighborhood. But you remember Miss White used to babysit you as a child when your mama would go to work. You liked her. She treated you well. We had communities back then. We had reverence for these women. We saw these women cooking and cleaning. Big pot of greens with a big old slab of fat back in it. I know some of y'all don't eat pork no more, but you need to go back to your roots. I know what you used to eat. But the bottom line is, fam, that is what we used to have. And because of those women and because of the role that they play, we had great respect for them. So we would listen to them. When they told us to do something, they slid that plate of greens in front of you and that fried chicken and that cornbread. You listen. Grandma would be up in the middle of the night after your mama done dropped you off on Friday. All your cousins laid out on grandma's floor. She'll make sure everybody had a little pallet. She'll make sure y'all took y'all's bath. She'll make sure she'll come put a sheet or a blanket on top of y'all. You head to foot. You see what I'm saying? When you're on that pallet head to foot, you know what I'm talking about. Your foot is in your cousin's face and his feet her feet is in your face. That's how that works. But you spend a lot of time at grandma's house. You watch that woman. You watch her work, get up early in the morning, cook and clean, maybe get her coffee for her, run a few errands for her. When the ice cream truck would pass outside, you'd go get her one of her favorite ice cream or a Snicker bar or something like that. When her check came in the mail, you would go with her and cash and pay the bills. You respected this woman for her stability. Y'all love me. Y'all love grandma. Most of our grandmas are from Arkansas, Louisiana, Alabama, Texas, East Texas. I'm talking about older women who were born at sometimes before the turn of the 20th century, sometime early 20th century. Old women who were raised different. You would never find them in the club at 45, 50, 60 years old. 60-year-old grandma talking about she gonna get a man? No. So, hashtag Vivica Fox. That wasn't the type of big mamas we had. You see, and that's why Big Mama, when she would call, we would come. When she would say, I'm having Thanksgiving dinner, we would come. When she wanted something done, she was gonna get it done. You understand me? Everybody would cut for Big Mama. Big Mama what? Big Mama need, oh yeah, we coming through. She knew the new dress for Easter, no problem. She need her rent paid, she need her house no pay. We taking care of Big Mama. And so if Big Mama said, hey, don't vote for this man, he ain't no good for us, we respected that. We adhered to her. We might not agree with her. She got white Jesus on the wall, but don't nobody say nothing. Because irrespective of how we feel about white Jesus, if Big Mama got that picture up on the wall, we're going to leave her alone. We're going to leave it there. She want to play her piano on Sunday morning and sing gospel songs, and that's just what she going to do, and nobody's going to bother her. Matter of fact, Big Mama sat in the front seat. Wife, mama, girlfriend, baby mama, everybody else in the back seat. That's the reverence that we had for those type of women. But she's dead now. She's not here anymore. And along with her death was lost the reverence and respect that black women had because she held the line. She was a respectful woman. She carried herself like a woman. She Vaseline her little face and hands and what else. She had her little rings on. She's still in her elderly age. Some of us met our big mamas at 65, 70, 80 years old. And we respected her. Always had a little hat on, sitting in the front, second, third, fourth row in church. Maybe she got a walker. Maybe she got a cane. And she didn't have to be big and bad. She might have yelled a little bit, but she didn't have to do much yelling. We loved her. We still cry for her. You see, but she's gone now. And along with that went the reverence that we have for black women. So when you have people like this lady, Sonny Jostin or Hostin, who's on The View, who says stuff like, we're going to make black men, black women are going to make black men vote for Joe Biden, you lost your mind. You don't know what you're talking about. Sonny Hostin her father is an African American, her mother is a Puerto Rican. She went to school in the Bronx at a school dominated by Dominicans. She doesn't even have a foundational black American experience. You can't tell us what we're going to do. We don't want women speaking for us. I don't want no woman speaking for me, much less a woman from another culture who was raised in another culture. I don't care if your daddy was black. You ain't black like me. I'm hog maws and fatback black. I'm Mississippi Delta black. I'm South Central LA born and raised black. It's a different vibe. You see what I mean? And so you can't speak on behalf of my culture and me. As I said earlier, I got 70,000 black men who follow my page. Short about 400. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe. I know what the brothers are thinking. And they damn sure ain't thinking you're going to be able to punk them into voting for Joe Biden. Not the same 1988 crack bill Joe Biden. Not the 1994 crime bill Joe Biden. Not busing now, busing forever Joe Biden. Not I don't want my children going to school in the jungle, Joe Biden. You don't think we know who Joe Biden is? Hell with the fact that he old and senile now. Too old to be prosecuted. This is the same racist Joe Biden is, and you want us to hold our nose and vote for him again? Look, you don't understand what's going on with black men. And for the most part, because you don't interact with them, you disrespect them, you disregard what they say, you don't get it. Let me explain to y'all something. Somebody type Black Manosphere in the chat room. Somebody type Black Manosphere in the chat room. I know they put me out the Black Manosphere. They don't agree with all of what I say, but that's all right. For the most part, that's what it's called. You understand? And the black manosphere is a new place where politics start. Now look here. Listen, somebody type "look here" in the chat room. Or as they say in Alabama, "looky here." Somebody say "looky here." The first thing you got to understand is this. The black man, as black men, we're the moral compass of America. See, we're the moral compass of America because we're the only ones that came to this country against our will. Even the Native Americans, they decided to walk across the Bering Straits and they showed up. And here they are. But because we're the only ones who came here, we're differently positioned than they are. And what you notice about black men, we steer America towards justice. And that is the moral compass that we provide. We steer America towards justice, and that is evident by our particular history. Look at the civil rights movement, led by black men. Look at the abolitionist movement, led by black men. Integration, led by black men. Make America a more perfect union. We are the ones that steer America towards what its founding fathers' ideals of justice and equality for all men. Not anybody else. Look at the history of America. You don't believe me. So what's on black men's minds is very important. Even though we're only a small population, only 22 million altogether, we have a lot of power and influence with major American figures, with heroes from my God, even folklore. You see, even some of the heroes that white folk look up to, Jackie Robinson, all the way up to Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. You see, they look up to us. We fought in all the wars. So irrespective of what they say about black men, at the end of the day, we're still observed. We're still studied. And again, we're the moral compass of America. So it makes sense that the black manosphere, which changed the conversation around relationships. Did y'all not know that? Before the so-called black manosphere, we weren't having conversations about high-value men and hitting the wall and men out here demanding what they want from women. We weren't talking about that. It was all about what the ladies want. We literally changed the conversation around relationships. And that's been something that's happened over the past 10 years. So the next phase of what the black manosphere doing, or black men collecting on the internet and speaking and exchanging notes and ideas, is wrapped around politics. And that's what you're seeing happen. And just like black men changed the conversation around relationships, now we're changing the conversation on politics. That's why you have people like Miss Hostin. Miss Hostin is saying, well, black women call to arms, you need to get these black dudes in line. But it's not going to happen because Big Mama is dead now. And so we don't have that sort of reverence. And they see us steering away from the Democratic Party to parties and politicians that are aligned more with our interests. Because you ladies let us know, that our interests are not aligned, and you proved that. And so now black men haven't finally realized it. That's why you see all these different headlines saying black men leaving the Democrat Party. And so it's become so much of a problem that guess what? Now you got people like Sonny Hostin and these different folks on MS, Joy Bayard, and he's not Joy Bayard, but that other lady, I forget, Joy Reid on MSNBC, trying to talk to black men, but you don't have our ear. I have their ear. There are other black men. Dr. Tia Son Johnson has their ear. There are other prominent black men who are solely 100% dedicated to advocacy on behalf of black men that have their ear. If you're not 100% on our side, they don't trust you. Look at it. They're going to see you as a clown. You better stay narrow and focused on supporting black men. Dr. Umar Johnson was at his height when he said, you know what, I'm a psychologist and I support black boys. That's when black men got behind him. That's when his school funding was at an all-time high. But the minute he pivoted and started trying to pander to black women, guess what happened? The brother said, well, you know what, your focus is off now. And then guess what happened? Them same black women that he was pandering to, hashtag conscious stripper, hashtag baby mamas, they came out and attacked the man. So it'd be wise for you to stay focused on what you, as they say, dance with the one that brung you. And see, I ain't stupid. Like I said before, my interests are solely as an advocate for black men, and I'm in it because I want to support the brothers. Because me supporting the brothers supports me and my children. Now that said, it's become a problem in the politics. Remember, Maxine Waters was my inspiration for this first one. Sonny Halston is my inspiration for this one. The fact that you have so many black men pivoting towards the Republican Party at this juncture means that they see that their interests are aligned with the Republican Party. Again, I'm not telling you fellas what to vote for. I'm just saying what's happening. I'm just giving you a play-by-play. I'm just sitting back, letting you look at this microscope of society and telling you from this point forward, you're going to see the same thing happen in politics related to black men as what happened in relationships related to black men. We're going to start voicing our opinion, saying what's in our best interest, and people aren't going to like it. And they're going to use the same type of shaming techniques. They're going to replace sassy with the C00N. Okay? That's what they're going to do. Because they're going to try to bring you back in line. Now, again, I don't care who you vote for. I say vote your interest. But the bottom line is, man, you can count on me to be your advocate, man, because I love y'all. And aside from that, man, I'm pure with my my intentions. You sisters who love black men and respect black men, you appreciate what I'm doing. Hood rats ain't gonna like me. Some of the Pookie and Ray Rays are not gonna like me, because I call it like I see it. Truth speakers and people who tell the truth always gonna have a hard time. But any of you politicians who want to come on my page, you're gonna have to lay out specifically what you're gonna do for the vast majority of black men. It's not happening. You're not gonna be able to send any women our way. Nothing is gonna change because we don't respect black women like that. And you may not like what's going on but on the black manosphere or black YouTube, but it's gonna be what it's gonna be. The nerve, this particular politician had the nerve to try to get me to round up Dr. Tiasan Johnson and some of the other people. I talk to Dr. Tiasan Johnson every damn month for the most part. We have great conversations. I talked to him the other day for about an hour about this case I was working on and just chopping it up with him. But I'm not gonna I'm not gonna corral my brother. I say, look, you need to reach out to him on your own. I'm not gonna reach out to him and put a stamp of approval on him doing this. I'm not doing that. You're not gonna play me like that. This ain't, I got good game. Somebody type good game in the chat room. You're not gonna use me. I'm not that type of black man. I don't need you. I don't want you. I don't want your money. I don't want your fame. I don't want nothing from you. All I want is for my brothers to have the best life that they can have. That's what I want. I want them to find fit, feminine, beautiful women. My preference is that they marry black women, women of African descent. Don't matter to me if she's from the United States of America. It don't matter to me if she's from Africa, South America, Central America, the Caribbean. I don't care where she went. That's my preference for them. But if they can't find a good black woman, a good woman of African descent, you know what? Go find a good woman that's going to treat you well. I ain't going to be mad at you. I'm going to love your kids as much as I love all the rest of these children that come from my same origin. Period. They're going to be just as much family as the blackest to the black children. Lights, bright, damn near white. If you got an ounce of black blood in you, I'm with you 100%. You see what I mean? So the main thing, though, is for you brothers to be happy and vote your interest, because guess what happens if you're not happy? If you're not happy, you're going to more likely than not take your unhappiness out on another black man. And that's why we have so many bodies in these streets. And I'm trying to avoid that. All you brothers need to get on code, man. Recognize that black men have to begin to stick together. They're going to try to piece us up and part us out and parse us out. Vote your interests. At this point, 81% of black men vote Democratic. About 19% of black men are leaning toward the Republican Party. I don't really care, man. I just want you to vote your interests. But bottom line is, for all you politicians out there, you're not coming through me, not without getting screened. I'm not going to let you do it. It's not going to happen. And for all you so-called black women who think you're going to punk black men and force black men to vote the way you want, it's not going to happen.